Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to Scobuff Sports for tonight's matchup between the Colorado Buffaloes and the Notre Dame Fighting Irish in game number 2 for the Buffaloes of this Mile High tournament. Folks, we are underway right off the face-off at midfield, and the Irish take first possession. Thank you all for tuning in. I'm Kieran Walger. Nick Evans is producing today. There's a centering pass out there. Notre Dame is getting right into it, wasting no time. We do apologize for the delayed start, getting our equipment all set up and ready to go. Nonetheless, we are here now. Here come the Irish, right out of the gates hot. Jenna Frinsky, there's a shot, and that's saved immediately by Grace Morgan. So CU will get the chance now. As we round the 60-second mark here in this first quarter. And here comes Ava Diamond. She was absolutely instrumental earlier today in that game against number 5 ranked Michigan. Massive upset. Just before this, UCF played on this field. And Michigan was taken down yet again. Now the Buffs are back on their home turf, trying to defend, looking for their second W of the day. Sydney Schitzman. Pass to Nina Manozzi. Manozzi sends it across behind the net. Looking for an opening is Ava Diamond. Breaking into that crease out in front of the net. Excuse me, wrapping around the back. That's Caden Williamson. Is that there? And we'll get a whistle. And it will be Irish ball. That's sent down across the field to Megan McIntyre. Colorado takes it once again. As Ann Quinn on the right side. There she is in the shot. That one's sent high. Anna Leo down here is picked up by Ava Diamond. Ava Diamond wrapping around into that corner. Fiona Flattery. Another wrap around the 10 out in front here for Schitzman. Schitzman into traffic. He's got a chance, and she scores! Buffaloes take the lead early. Just over 12 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Clock is still running on the field here, folks. We do apologize for that. Buffalo's up 1-0. Sydney Schitzman unassisted. That veteran presence really stepping up here today for Colorado. And here we come back out to midfield for the draw. And it will be Kara Janisevsky, against Sydney Schitzman on the draw. It's getting a little chilly here in Boulder. It's about around 42, 41 degrees. Current temperature 42 here in Boulder as the sun begins to set behind the Flatirons behind us. So unfortunately, you folks at home don't have the view. You can see the apartments across 28th Street. Sloppy face-off there. But the draw is taken by Schitzman. Sent back into the corner. Another wrap around the tent. Here's Diamond. Diamond in front. Takes a shot and scores! Ava Diamond with a rocket right off the draw. Not even half a minute later. Maybe half a minute later. An early 2-0 lead for Colorado here on Kit Field. The Irish have had a We don't know the final score of their game earlier today, folks, but it's been a long day for them for sure. And UCF, who played on this field just before we started this broadcast, that game did go a little late, so we do apologize for the delay. They played 3 games today, if I'm not mistaken. So that draw, ball is still loose. Here come the Irish with their second chance rather of the day in the offensive zone. It's Catherine Leader. Leader looking for help, and she's got it from Haley Hatton. Back to Leader. Leader sends it across, and that's behind the net now, and picked up by Janaszewski. Here's Hatton. Hatton sends it to Sienna LaRocca. And here's Leader again. Leader can't break the crease, break in. There's a shot, and that goes way high over the net, just wide and out of bounds. As we round the 10.5-minute mark here in the first quarter. There's a shot right into traffic, and a stick is loose out there. Let's look. Chase Kriebel lost her stick. Colorado out in front, and the Irish will clear their zone. Those first 2 goals by Colorado put them on the board early. Irish still looking for that first scoring chance. Got some great setup chances, courtesy of Catherine Ladair. Sienna LaRocca. Sends it back out to Ladair, or excuse me, rather. Emily Panuzio. And then Zio takes a shot, and that's a great save there. Grace Morgan. Morgan playing this one. Picked up by Bella Lane at midfield. She sends this one across to Diamond. Ava Diamond passes this one back into the corner for Tate Farrell. Farrell over to Williamson. There's Luce. Minozzi back into the corner for Farrell. Farrell looking for help. Irish defense. They're giving Colorado a run for their money right now. As Jake Williamson. That's Diamond. Loses the ball. Ball is loose on the ground. And there's a fight for it. And it's recovered by Colorado. Excellent strategy. Excellent execution. That's picked up by Irish goaltender Julia Ann Workman. And it's cleared out of the zone by Ladair. Charging downfield is Victoria Viteri. Viteri over to Sydney Vaughn. Vaughn looking for assistance. 7.5 to go here in the first quarter. No score for the Irish so far. Looking for that first opportunity here. Here's Viteri. Sends this back out to LaRocca. LaRocca takes a shot. Oh, and it went just wide of the net. For a second, it looked like it may have penetrated or gotten past Morgan. Sydney Vaughn looking for the wraparound, sends it high over the net. And there's a great save by Workman off that shot from Nina Minozzi. Ball is loose near midfield, and we'll get a whistle here as Sophia Pitcher. Here's Pitcher with another chance here. Sends it out to Diamond. Diamond back into the corner for Williamson. Williamson sends this back out just beyond the crease. And here's Minozzi. Minozzi again. Back out to Luce. Luce into the corner here. Williamson. Diamond passes it, nearly intercepted and recovered by Williamson. Williamson routine pass over to Diamond. Right into traffic, and it's stopped by Workman. Workman sends this one out. Colorado nearly got their stick on that one. And going the other way is Carolyn Carson. Is this one way out? Their chance here. There's a shot right on net, and they score. Irish on the board after nearly 10 minutes of play. 2-1 in favor of Colorado. Beautiful shot there by Carolyn Carson. Victoria Viteri with the assist. 5:19 to go here in the first quarter. And that will take us back to midfield for another draw. Ava Diamond and Nina Minozzi will sub out for the Buffaloes. It's Abby Luce in the face-off circle. Long way. Kara Janishevsky. Janishevsky gives this one back over, wins it for the Irish. Holly Roxky. Haley Hatton in the corner for Sienna LaRocca. Irish still maintain possession. Janishevsky won that face-off for the Irish. There's another shot. They score! Sienna LaRocca rockets that one. Just past Ewan Tan. Ewan Tan in goal for the Buffaloes. 2 back-to-back goals for the Irish. Similar story for the Buffaloes earlier in this quarter. Game is tied. Just over 4.5 to go here in the first quarter. Back out to midfield is Janishevsky. And she'll face off against Brooke Miller, midfielder for the Buffaloes. Ball was nearly picked up by Lane Eamon. And now the Irish with another chance to respond. Closing in. They'll wrap this one around. 4:20 to go here in the first quarter. This one sent back out. Maglicago. Maglicano sends this one back out. Here's LaRocca. Out in front, there's another shot that goes wide of the net and will go out of bounds. Inside 4. This one sent back out. Here's Viteri in the crease, and we get a whistle. Another penalty shot coming here, and they score! Irish take the lead for the first time today. Kara Janaszewski with the goal. Here comes another draw out of midfield. Lots of scoring early in this first 15 minutes of play. Something we can't say for the Michigan game earlier. Not a whole lot of draws. Nonetheless, the Buffaloes walked away with a huge upset. And Michigan just took another crushing defeat to UCF. Late comeback attempt proved ineffective as UCF stayed hot and were able to walk away with an impressive 13-9 victory. 13-10 rather. So here's Janaszewski again, charging down the slot. Down center. That pass out to Sienna LaRocca. And back behind is Marin Livingstone. This pass back out to Sydney Vaughn. Vaughn and closing in. Here's McIntyre. Forced out to the right side. That's Livingstone again. McIntyre, there's another shot and a tremendous save by 10. Two and a half to go here in the first quarter. Irish looking to capitalize. Got off to a slow start, but they're surely asserting their dominance late in the first quarter. Another chance here for Lily Maglicano. Maglicano takes a shot and it's saved. And plays this one back out, and Colorado will get their first chance in the offensive zone in a while. That long pass. That was Lane Eamon. Ball is loose, ground ball picked up by the Irish. Going in the direction, or excuse me, Irish ball rather. There's Vaughn. She's going to play this one back. Looked like she was retreating on that play to Jane Streaker. Streaker going up the right side. And that pass is played out to Holly Herksky. Herkowski out there. Another shot attempt. Can't get off, right into traffic. There's another one, and they score! 2-point lead for the Irish as we approach the 1 minute mark here in the first quarter. Courtesy Holly Srukochi. I really hope I'm saying that name right, folks. I do apologize. Is there any Notre Dame fans on this broadcast? So a nearly 8 or 9 minute scoring drought here for Colorado. Lost their momentum shortly after the 10-minute mark here. As we round the 1 minute mark to go here in the first quarter, and the sun begins to set over Boulder. Ball is loose. Colorado in the fight for that one. Brooke Miller. She's going to charge downfield. Somersaults. Good recovery from that check. Miller did lose her goggles there, but she recovers the ball. This is number 0 for Colorado. Sent across the field to number 29, Lizzie Porter. Seeing some of her first action today. Ball is loose and recovered by the Irish, or excuse me, Colorado rather. Great play there, right into traffic. I'll continue. There's a shot, goes wide of the net, but it picked up by Workman. It's Margaret Cavanaugh with that ball as time expires here. 4-2 in favor of Notre Dame as we end the first 15 minutes of play. And we'll take a quick break.
Hello and welcome to this week's SCOBA Sports Live Show. I'm Trent Finnegan.
And I'm Leo Rivera IV.
And how are we doing today, Leo?
We've had a very brisk, late spring window here with weather-wise, but I'm having a fantastic day. Yourself?
Very cold in Boulder, but I've had a good day. We're at the CU NFL Showcase earlier. We'll get to that later, but we start things off with very important news from football. Coach Prime is here to stay. Over the break, the Board of Regents agreed to a record-breaking contract extension to the 2029 season, giving Sanders a base salary of $10 million per year, adding on to the original 5-year, nearly $30 million contract he first signed in 2022. Dion has the opportunity to rake in an astounding $54 million over the next 5 years. This new agreement makes Sanders the highest-paid coach in the Big 12 and top 10 in the country.
And earlier this week, we asked around campus to see how some students were feeling after the news of the big contract.
In 1994, Deion Sanders came up with his hit single, Must Be the Money. But 31 years later, Coach Prime still says, must be the money.
While most people on campus over spring break were catching up on their sleep, Coach Prime inked a $54 million contract that should keep him here another 5 years. But how does the average CU Boulder student feel about their highest paid official's new contract?
I think he's done a lot for the program and really built up just not just like the football program, but kind of like the school in general.
Whether it's the Prime effect or not, applications for the fall 2024 semester had a 20% increase with 68,000 applications.
Just overall as a school, it's getting more people coming and just bringing a huge community together in Boulder.
While that's good and all for the school, what about the football side?
I'm tired of losing, so I know Dion will help us win some more games.
However, one student thinks the amount of cheddar he's getting is flat out ridiculous.
I think that it's a little silly to pay him that much.
Dion stated at the start of his tenure that he would restore the program to its former glory. So the real question is, can he do it with the new?
Welcome back to Kit Field, ladies and gentlemen. We were getting ready for the second 15 minutes of this matchup between the Notre Dame Fighting Irish and the Colorado Buffaloes here in the Mile High Tournament in Boulder, Colorado. Face-off controlled by Notre Dame. Ball is loose. Irish desperately trying to recover, and they do. Janishevsky won that face-off for the Irish. Recovers this and sends it into the corner on the left side. Stoppage of play here. And we'll wait a second. It's controlled by Sienna LaRocca. She sends this one out to Catherine Ledare. Sends it to Haroski. Scotchy out into the corner. And a wraparound attempt right into traffic, and Colorado recovers. Beautiful recovery by Chase Kriebel. Kriebel out to midfield. Buffaloes have another chance to regain the lead. Close that gap, I should say. So that's sent across the field to Evan McDonald. Here's McDonald, plays it into the corner for Fiona Flattery. Flattery back out to McDonald, and she takes a shot, and that goes right into traffic. Blues. Ava Diamond trying to get her stick on that ball right in the crease, in prime position to capitalize on that play. Irish regain control. Ruscochi rushing downfield. Bit of a trip there, and we'll get a call as Haley Hatton went down. So here comes another penalty shot. Hatton into the crease. And she's going to send this one back to Victoria Viteri. Viteri to Ledare. To Livingstone. Livingstone back into the corner. Irish maintain possession. Here comes Hatton. Colorado recovers. Beautiful recovery by Caden Williamson. Here's Ava Diamond rushing up the left side. She's got wheels and help, and she'll send that one back into the corner to Menozzi. Send this one back to McDonald. McDonald lays it out to Bella Lane. Lane into the corner. Naomi Winarski plays this one back out. Closing in on the crease, and a big trip up there on Bella Lane. She goes down. Looks like we'll get a free shot for the Buffaloes. Inside 11 and a half to go. Here's the shot, and a great stop made by Julia Ann Workman. Both nations showing out in fine fashion on this chilly April evening. Irish with another chance going the other way. Ruscochi. This one back behind the net, and it's picked up by Megan Livingstone. Livingstone out to Viteri. Into the corner, here's LaRocca. LaRocca back out to Livingstone. Megan McIntyre. Megan to Megan on that one. There's another shot, and it's stopped. Beautiful save by Colorado. Played out to Rose Fisher getting her first action of the day. Or of this game, I should say. Play is whistled dead. Or excuse me, rather. It's going to be they will resume and picked up by Anna Leal. Anna Leal. Anna Leal. There's a shot. They score! Buffaloes narrow the gap to 1. 3-4 in favor of the Fighting Irish. Beautiful shot by Chase Kriebel. Another draw coming here at midfield. Ground ball recovered by the Buffaloes. Excuse me, ground ball again, and a huge trip up. A couple players go down. Looks like Colorado's slow to get up on this one. Just inside 9.5 to go here in the second quarter. It's a bit of a rough tangle. During this injury timeout, we'll step out for a moment. Mia Reese heads to the bench for Colorado after that rough trip up there. Hate to see it. Now Colorado will capitalize, or will attempt to capitalize on that last play. Out in front here is number 7, Sophia Pitcher. Pitcher, played out to Evan McDonald. McDonald back to Ava Diamond, scores! Broke right in from the left side. Game is tied at 4, just inside 9 minutes to go here in the first half. Ava Diamond's been electric today with scoring and assists. So have some subs come in for the Buffaloes. Maddie Cloud and Anna Leal. Ground ball recovered by the Irish. Attempted to regain the lead that they held for about 10 minutes. Wrapped around into the corner. Sienna LaRocca plays this one out to Viteri. Vaughn plays this one back into the corner for Janishevsky. Oh, it's loose in front, rather. Here's LaRocca again, or sends this one to Viteri. Viteri has it again. Here's Kapko. Kapko closing in rapidly. Sends this one back out to Viteri. Viteri right into traffic, in trouble. Sends it back out to Kapko. Kapko into the corner. Or nearly out of bounds. Sends this one back out to Viteri. Looking. Centering pass to McIntyre. McIntyre out in front. They score! Sienna LaRocca puts the Irish back in the lead, 4-5. As the sun has set behind the Flatirons. Excuse me, set behind Flagstaff, that is. Here comes another draw at center ice. Kari Janishevsky faced off against Sophia Pitcher. And we get a stoppage here. And the Irish will maintain control, charging down the left side of the field, coming back out to center at midfield is Jane Streeter. Jane Streaker, rather. Vaughn into the corner for Januszewski. Sends it back out to LaRocca. Here's Ledare. Back into the corner for Vaughn. Januszewski. Routine play that the Buffs are all too used to at this point. Trying to set up another shot. No shot clock here in WCLA lacrosse. So taking their sweet time and taking those shots. Inside 6.5 to go here in the second quarter. Colorado with a chance to respond. Comes Megan Lorenzen. Lorenzen sends this one. Pass intended for Issa Thompson. And she gets it. Lily Porter, that is, rather. Jane Streaker. Streaker sends it out to Silva. Catherine Ledare. Back out to Vaughn into the corner for Januszewski. And it will be another wraparound attempt for Haley Hatton. Hatton, right into traffic, sensing that pressure from Colorado. Maglicano sends it across to Vaughn, back into the corner for Kara Januszewski. Irish holding on to that ball as long as they can in that offensive zone. Out in front here, there's another shot, they score! Catherine Ledare narrows the gap once again to 2. It's 4-6 Irish as we approach the 4.5-minute mark here in the second quarter. Lights starting to come on here at Kit Field as the sun has set. Brooke Miller in the draw circle. And that's taken away by Januszewski. Miller recovers that one. 4:25 to go here in the second. There's a shot. Score! Brooke Miller with a rip right past Julia Ann Workman. And Notre Dame's lead has been cut to 1, just like that. 5-6 Irish. Beautiful shot, unassisted by Brooke Miller. Charging right up, wrapped around to the right side of the crease. And bam, right past Workman. And just like that, another face-off comes to midfield, as does Kara Januszewski. Plenty of Notre Dame fans here in the stands today, making the long trip out from South Bend. That's recovered by the Buffs. Crowd getting a little bit tired here as it's the end of a long tournament day 4 minutes to go here in the first half. That's sent back out to number 31, Tate Farrell. Got the 0. There's Sophia Pitcher. Pitcher closing in on the crease, sends it out. Pass intended for Tate Farrell, and it's lost. It's recovered by the Irish. Ball is loose on the ground. Another ground ball, and it's recovered by Victoria Viteri. Back out. And it's coming. Turnover back to Colorado. Issa Thompson going up, goes up the left side. 3 minutes to go until halftime. That's sent back out to number 0. Top of the crease. Here's Pitcher. Porter closing in. Leaves this one back for Eamon. Eamon closing in. Wrapping around the outside of the crease. 2.5 to go. That's back out to Pitcher. Pitcher. Back out in front. Excuse me, rather. There's a shot. They score! Game is tied at 6. 2:11 to go in the first half. Lane Eamon. Michigan convening briefly out in front of their net. Very close game and a high-scoring game here in the first half. Just over 2 minutes to go here in the second quarter. Can the Irish capitalize and regain that lead? We shall see. Irish rushing up the field. There's Skokshi. Ball is loose and recovered. Let's play back out. Colorado maintains possession. Played back out to Maddie White. Maddie White and the Irish intercept that. Play stops momentarily. As we round the 120 mark here in the first half, Notre Dame with another chance to capitalize. Alyssa DeMarco seeing her first action today against Colorado. Out in front, Buffalo's right swarming their crease. That shot went behind the net, just wide. 55 to go. Fun here, that's picked up. Beautiful save there. Play is whistled dead as we have under a half minute to go. Nearly turned over. Irish recover. They'll try to capitalize in the final 10 seconds of play here at Kitt Field. in the first half. They're going to wrap this one around behind the net. Emily Panuzio. And they score! Six to 7, Colorado. Or 6-7 Notre Dame, rather. Absolutely a very, very competitive game here in this first half here at Kidd Field between the Colorado Buffaloes and the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. So, folks, we will step out here for halftime for about 5 minutes or so and enjoy some scenes from this week's live show.
Extension?
What was it like? Was it early 90s, 80s since we won our last championship? I feel like Dion's our best shot of ever getting back to that same level of competition.
As Colorado football gears up for the 2025 season, Coach Prime will be rolling the big bucks, but only time will tell if the investment is worth it. Xavier McNivitz, Scobo Sports.
Thanks, Xavier. With that, we also have the details of Coach Prime's newest extension. Deion Sanders will get a substantial bonus for each major milestone he reaches while in Boulder. These landmarks include $100,000 for each additional win after 9 wins in a regular season, $150,000 for a Big 12 championship appearance, and $400,000 for making the college football playoff. If he chooses to leave CU before the end of this year, his buyout will be for $12 million, decreasing to $3 million by 2029. That number will decrease by $2 million each season. Sanders is also allowed to retire at any time without penalty as long as he does not join another team after that. It's now time for this week's Buff Banter with Mia and Colby with some insight on this contract.
Hey Buff fans, you're here for Buff Banter today with Mia Driscoll and Colby Wyatt. We're here to talk about Coach Prime's record-breaking contract extension through 2029. Colby, get us started with some of your thoughts about that.
Yeah, well, let's just get the facts out of the way. 5 years, $54 million. Starts out getting paid $10 million a year, and that'll increase every year. And then the buyout, on the flip side, will decrease.
Hey Buff fans, you're here for Buff Banter today with Mia Driscoll and Colby Wyatt. We're here to talk about Coach Prime's record-breaking contract extension through 2029. Colby, get us started with some of your thoughts about that.
Yeah, well, let's just get the facts out of the way. 5 years, $54 million. Starts out getting paid $10 million a year, and that'll increase every year. And then the buyout, on the flip side, will decrease every year. It starts off at $12 million, and it'll decrease to the end. Last year, the buyout will only be $3 million, which is important, something I'm sure we'll talk about throughout this whole segment, because every year that he's with us, the odds of him leaving us will get more likely because of that decreased buyout.
Yeah, totally. And that is something that has been the bigger concern is with that buyout going down, he has less reason to stay here. And that's another thing that we've talked about is Colorado didn't initially have the funds to pay him this big of a contract. Number one highest paid coach in the Big 12. And as we look at what he's brought to this program, $99 million in revenue. There's been some that even say that this is not just deserving, but that he's deserved more. How do you feel about that?
I mean, I don't know if I'd say he deserved more. I mean, 4th highest paid in the nation, highest paid in Big 12. I don't think he needs any more, especially when we look at the fact that he's only been with us for a couple years. There's concerns. Have we reached our peak? Are we only going to get worse? Can he make us better? If he can't make us better, then I don't think the money is quite worth it.
Obviously, that turnaround from his first season to his second season, we can see that he wants to be here, at least for right now. We can see the drive that he's instilled in these players, national prominence brought back to this program. Our athletic director is clearly very excited about the future. What else do you think that would keep him here? As we lose Travis Hunter, as we lose Shador, we lose these big draft picks. How do we see the recruitment increase from that big contract? We see the players that are more encouraged to come here with him, supposedly staying here longer.
Well, I mean, frankly, I think he wants to stay here. He said multiple times that he likes it here. He wants to be here, and the only really reason he'd leave is to coach his son in the NFL, his son's in the NFL. And so unless an opportunity like that arises, I really don't think we have anything to worry about. Of course, there are things that the college can do, like NIL funds, things like that, stuff to make his life just a little easier, make him do his job better. just things like that. But I do think he wants to be here, and yeah.
Yeah, I think that the recruiting aspect of it is huge because that shows the players, whereas before it was a question of, is this a one and done? Is this, he's just here for Shedeur, as you mentioned. And now we can see that he really is trying to build something here. You know, one of the bonuses that he gets is for a Big 12 championship appearance, for a college football playoff appearance, for National Coach of the Year appearance. So those are put in the contract with the expectation that those are achievable, and those are things that he's considering and the school is considering.
Yeah, and I mean, well, first we got to take a step back. Something you mentioned, the recruiting. Is his ability to recruit going to increase? Because obviously we're still getting all the transfers, all the transfers that he wants. But if you talk about freshmen, stars, 5 stars, 4 stars, we're getting those, but will we ever get those on the same?
Welcome back to Kit Field, ladies and gentlemen. For half number 2 between the Notre Dame Fighting Irish and the Colorado Buffaloes. A reminder, it is 7-6 in favor of Notre Dame. And a late goal in the second half brought the Irish up by 1. Second quarter, rather. Kara Janishevsky back into the draw circle for the Irish. She's been absolutely instrumental today. This past half hour of play. Beautiful recovery there by Bella Lane. Lane out to Schitzman, who takes the field once again. Minozzi. Their starting lineup out there for the Buffaloes. I got to Lane. Lane out to Kriebel. Kriebel closing in, leaves this one back for Minozzi. Minozzi trying to penetrate that crease. Sends it into the corner. Ball is loose and recovered by Colorado, and it will stay with the Buffaloes. Here's Diamond. And play resumes. Diamond out to Schitzman. Schitzman to McDonald. McDonald, here's Diamond. Diamond closing in. Sends this one out to Kriebel. Kriebel takes a shot and scores! Game is tied once more, 7-7. Chase Kriebel absolutely ripped that one right over that shoulder of Julie-Ann Workman. Excuse me, rather. Margaret Ferris entering for the Irish. Buffs bench feeling the excitement as the sun continues. The sun has set behind the mountains, and it'll be getting dark here shortly, folks. Lights are on, so we could be here all night. Preferably not, because it's getting pretty cold out here. And Schitzman trying to recover this one, but it's picked up by Bella Lane. The Irish recover. Ground ball is loose again. Kopko. Play is whistled dead. Streaker sent this one back into the corner as Laraka and Hatton. Around to Janishevsky. Janishevsky. Got to Livingstone. Excuse me, Maclicano, rather. Maclicano. Out to Kopko. McLacano. Back out and intercepted by Colorado. Chase Kriebel not slowing down one bit for her Buffaloes team. Ground ball and recovered. We got a bit of a check there in the face, or to the face of Marin Livingstone. Lily McLacano maintains possession for the Irish. She's nearly forced out of bounds. Another ground ball recovered by Notre Dame. Right into traffic. And it will come to Colorado. Controlled by Chase Kriebel. Standing in the corner was Sydney Vaughn, or excuse me, near the Buffs bench rather. This will be wrapped around into the corner. Irish have been trying this play. It's not really been effective thus far. Another player whistle dead. Irish will maintain possession. Another penalty shot there, and they score. Irish regain the lead. 11:17 to go here in the third quarter. Into the face-off circle once again is Karl Januszewski. Played into the corner is Catherine Ledare. Sent that one to Sydney Vaughn. Wrap that one around the corner. Another play for the Irish. Sienna Laraka sent that one back out to Ledare. Ledare intercepted again by Chase Kriebel. Buffaloes regaining their momentum. That's sent across for Nina Minozzi. That's into the corner. There's Diamond. I got to Minozzi. Sydney Schitzman trying to penetrate into that circle, or excuse me, crease rather. As that's sent wide of the net, and Ava Diamond will pick this one up. Boston College will take to the field after this, and there's a save that made by Ferris. You can see them warming up in the background on the Kit middle field. Evan McDonald covered that one. That's wrapped around behind the net by Fiona Flattery. Here's Minozzi. I got to Kriebel. Griebel. That pass intended for Flattery and is recovered by the Irish. That's played back out to Catherine Ladair. Vaughn going the other way. Vaughn recovers that fumble. Catherine Ladair. Ladair sends it down field to Ryland Sachs. Here's Vaughn into the corner for Januszewski. Ryland Sachs. There's Sachs on the top of the crease, looking for help. Nifty little pass there to Vaughn, who takes a shot and scores. 2-point lead for the Irish. Or excuse me, rather, that will not go. Goal did not count. Looked like may not have crossed the line. It's hard to see from this angle here, folks, at field level. Look at a free shot here. That shot is way high and wide over the net. Goes back into the corner. Buffaloes will get possession. Sent back out. There's Schutzman. Schutzman lost it. Another ground ball will stay with CU. There's Schutzman. Sent across to Leal. Leal sends it across to Eamon. They'll play this one to Evan McDonald. McDonald looking for help out in front. Pass is nearly intercepted. Intended for Brooke Miller, will not go. And charging down the opposite end is Catherine Ladair. Waiting for her team. And another ground ball will stay with the Irish. Another wraparound. Laraka to Januszewski. Januszewski out to Vaughn. And here's Viteri. There's another ball played from Hatton to Laraka. Januszewski back to Laraka. Going the opposite way. Here's Ladair. Ladair, top of the crease, sends it out, nearly intercepted by Colorado. Vaughn at the top, or excuse me, rather, Januszewski. Januszewski closing in, takes a shot and a great save. It's grabbed out of the air. And Rose Fisher Fisher. There's this one back out. Beautiful play here as Colorado recovers. Number 0. Pass back out to Lizzie Porter. Lizzie Porter plays this one into the corner for Williamson. Williamson with the wraparound. And Notre Dame defense all over this ball here. That's sent across number 0. There's a shot that went off the crossbar. What a great opportunity. And a little bit lower, it would have went in. Williamson back out to Porter. Irish will get possession here as we approach the 3.5-minute mark here in the third quarter. Got in front here, that's sent across. Irish setting up a shot chance. Inside the crease, at the top is Viteri. Viteri takes a check and loses the ball. But here comes Alyssa DeMarco. Excuse me, rather, Viteri sends it down to Ruscochi. There's Januszewski out in front. Ruscochi looking for help. Out in front here, and Colorado regains possession. And here we go, inside 2.5 to go here in the third quarter. Buffalo's down by 1. There's a shot that goes just wide of the net. Beautiful chance there for Brooke Miller. Just to the right of Margaret Ferris. It's played back in. Here's Tate Farrell. Farrell closing in out in front. Takes a shot and a save made by Ferris. Going the other way is Holly Ruscochi yet again. Out in front. Sends it a long way down the field to Marin Livingstone. Livingstone back out to Ruscochi. Ruscochi takes a shot and it's saved. 1.5 to go in the third. Big hit there. Ruscochi with another shot and they score! Lead is back up to 2 for the Irish. 9-7. Buffalo's convening briefly during this quick break. 1:15 to go here in the third quarter. Notre Dame crowd ecstatic on that last play for good reason. Quite a turn of events for the Buffaloes from earlier today. They absolutely pulled off an absolutely incredible upset against the Michigan Wolverines. And back to the face-off circle is Kara Januszewski. Ground ball will go with Colorado. Here's Sydney Schitzman. At the right side. Picked up here. Ground ball recovered by Schitzman. Schitzman closing in on that crease right into traffic. Another ground ball. Looks like it will stay with the Buffaloes. Penalty shot coming here for Schitzman. Schitzman takes a shot. Score! The lead is cut down to 1 for the Irish. Sydney Schitzman. That veteran presence on this team is absolutely incredible for Colorado. Need those leading goal scorers out here. .5 seconds remaining in this third quarter at Kitt Field. Buffs are not out of this yet. The Irish, I mean, are not out of this yet. Facing a tough Colorado team. There's a face-off controlled by the Buffaloes. Or excuse me, rather, the Irish penetrating their zone. 45 seconds to go. Sydney Vaughn passes this one out to Ryland Sachs. The 30-second mark. Kopko sends this one to LaRocca. LaRocca closing in. Ground ball recovered by the Buffaloes. 12 seconds to go. Ball is out. Sam Mays loses this one. They'll take another shot. That goes wide. And time has expired, but they score. And that will count it. 10-8. Irish. In the final half second of that quarter. Fourth quarter coming your way in about 2 minutes, folks. We'll step aside.
Level as top programs in the nation. Like, I mean, Oregon, Alabama stuff. I mean, that's a high goal, but you know, you just have to wonder, will his ability to recruit high schoolers kind of increase?
Yeah, and I think that's something we've seen with just his personality, is something that draws people here. You know, he's very outspoken. He has this persona around him, and that is super attractive, especially to young players with the NIL, making a name for themselves. That is something that comes with going here. You know, we have the handles on the back of the practice jerseys. That is something that he certainly brings to the table that I don't think other programs necessarily do. And that is part of where he's brought so much of that revenue, is the media side of it that he really plays into, I think.
Yeah, of course. And he's done so much for not just the football program, but the school. He's done so much. He's increased, you know, the application rates. He's increased the school revenue. The town of Boulder, he's increased the town of Boulder's revenue. So much great stuff. So at the end of the day, if we're talking about the contract, making him the fourth highest paid, and even including all those things like the decreasing buyouts, I'm still happy with it, because I think we wouldn't be here without him. Our football program wouldn't be here without him. I think we need him for at least a couple more years. This contract makes me happy. I
agree. How long do you see him for? Going through 2029?
I wouldn't be surprised if he came from the future, told me he retires here. I wouldn't be surprised, but then at the same time, you know, I give him at least 3 years. After 3 years, I'm nervous about it.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Love to see that happen.
Yeah, but I think that's about all I have to say on the subject. Yeah. Okay, perfect. Thank you for watching our Buff Banner, and I'm Colby Wyatt. This is Mia Driscoll, and back to you at the desk.
Keeping with our theme of Coach Prime, let's look at his impact outside of football in Boulder. Since arriving, student population is up to 67,000, a 20% increase from a year ago. Out-of-state applicants are up 18%, and applicants who identify as Black or African American are up 50.5%. Lots of diversity coming to CU. A total of $93.9 million in direct economic impact to the city of Boulder has been reported by CU. The Prime effect is real and isn't going anywhere.
Welcome back to Kitt Field for the final 15 minutes of play here between the Notre Dame Fighting Irish and the Colorado Buffaloes. It's going to be the final time Buffaloes take to the field tonight before heading into an early 9:30 a.m. matchup tomorrow right here at Kitt Field against the Boston College Eagles. Their final game of the weekend will be played at the lower turf. So unfortunately, we will not be able to bring you that matchup. But nonetheless, we will be here bright and early tomorrow morning for tomorrow's game against BC. And the men will be playing later tomorrow as well, right here at Kit Field. Abby loose in the circle. And it's picked up out of the air by Colorado. Goes Kriebel. Kriebel closing in, takes a shot, and a tremendous save made by Margaret Ferris. Long pass out intended for Catherine Ladair. No connection made. And Colorado coming the opposite way yet again. Comes Megan Lorenzen going the opposite way. Buffs momentum already regaining strength after going down by 2 at the end of that third quarter. Want to walk away with another W, hopefully, here at home. Winarski plays this one into the corner and picked up by Diamond. Ava Diamond will wrap around from behind the net, right into traffic. Here comes Winarski again. Winarski takes a shot. That goes way high over. And that pass is picked up by Fiona Flattery. Here's Winarski again. Off the pass from pitcher. Score! Naomi Winarski restores hope for Colorado. 9-10. Still in favor of the Irish. 1.5 minutes gone by in this fourth quarter. Fire has been reignited for Colorado. What few fans are left here on this chilly April night, making sure that their squads walk away with a W. Abby's on the loose. I love that one. Loose in the face-off circle. Another draw coming here for Kara Janishevsky. And Colorado recovers yet again. Right into the stick of Chase Kriebel. And Kriebel charging up that left side of Ferris. Kriebel out in front. Kriebel back to pitcher. To Luce. Luce to Winarski. Winarski with another rocket. And that's saved this time by Ferris. Played by Ferris. Notre Dame will try to pick this one up. Intercepted by Ava Diamond, but it will go with the Irish. Here's Kavanaugh. Charging up midfield. Going to the right side. Kavanaugh. This one played out to Megan Livingston. That's a Haley Hatton into the corner for Janishevsky. This one comes back out to Laraka. Ruscochi. Ruscochi closing in. Colorado defense all over that one, nearly intercepted. Sent back out to Hatton. Hatton back to Ruscochi. That shot went way high over the net. It will go with Buffaloes the opposite way. Anna Leal plays this one. Out to Megan Lorenzen, charging downfield. Here's Kriebel. Kriebel will take a shot, and a tremendous save made by Ferris. I thought for sure that one was going in. 11:10 to go in the fourth. Buffalo's down by 1. Irish trying to respond. Bring this lead back up to 2. Emily Panuzio charging upfield. That's played to Kopko. Here's Kopko. That's Panuzio. And that's, I got to Hatton. Into the corner, wrapped around. Out in front here, there's a shot, they score! Megan McIntyre extends the lead. Clock is still running. So we'll get another draw here at midfield. 11-9 in favor of the Irish as we approach the 10-minute mark here in the game. Final game for Colorado here this evening. Recovered by face-off won by Colorado, rather. Bella Lane charging up. Lane maintains that possession. Ground ball recovered. And Quinn. Quinn. That's a Flattery. And Porter. Flattery. Defense all over Flattery right now. Out in front, Flattery tried to take a shot, and that's going to be recovered by the Irish. Nine and a half to go. Charging up the field is Kopko. Kopko charging way upfield. A little high stick there by Eamon. Rather. Eamon plays this one out to Vaughn. McIntyre out to Laraka. This is played back into the corner for Hatton. Januszewski. McIntyre to Laraka. Laraka charging up the left side. Back into the corner for Januszewski. Januszewski played that to Fateri. Fateri closing in, takes a shot, and a great save. Clock is winding down, 8 minutes to go. Ground ball out near midfield. The Irish will come away with this one. Here's Streaker. Streaker sends it down to Viteri. Viteri out to Kopko. Out to Vaughn. Out to Januszewski. In the corner out in front, intercepted by Colorado. What a beauty. Another ground ball, this time still loose. Irish desperately trying to recover, and they do. Penalty coming here. Seven minutes to go here in the fourth quarter at Kit Field. This one's played out to McIntyre. Into the corner is Januszewski. Off that pass from Viteri. Out in front. Great work, stick handling there by Kopko. Closing in here is Laraka, forced into the corner and passes it to Januszewski. Januszewski will wrap around. Januszewski into the crease. Sends this one back out to McIntyre. McIntyre out into traffic. Ball is loose. Goes behind the net. Two-on-one there behind the net. And Irish maintain control. Inside 6 minutes to go. Here's Viteri. Vaughn, rather. Out to Viteri. McIntyre. Laraka. Laraka will close in. So there's another ground ball, it looks like. Sienna Laraka. Out to McIntyre. McIntyre into traffic. Ground ball recovered. Kopko. Again, recovered by Colorado. Ball is still loose and picked up by Januszewski. There's Kopko. Sends this one down behind the net. Colorado desperately trying to clear their zone and get back into this game. Laney men. Here's Sydney Schitzman with another chance. She's looking for help trying to get into that face-off circle. Play is whistled dead. Looks like we'll have another penalty shot coming up here as we are inside 4.5 to go. There's Schitzman. Out to Winarski. Winarski. Excellent defense on Ava Diamond, who's lethal in the crease. Schitzman is kept out of the crease. We'll get another start here for Colorado. Schitzman with a penalty shot. Schitzman will play this back to Winarski. Winarski, high over the net. Picked up by Flattery. Flattery, back out to Schitzman. Schitzman closing in. She'll take a shot. Score! Sydney Schitzman. It's 10-11. Irish still hold the lead, and it's narrowed once again to 1. It was a big, long scoring drought for both of these teams. .3:13 to go here in the fourth quarter as we enter the twilight hours. This ball is picked up. Chase Kriebel closing in rapidly. Kriebel. into the corner. Taking Abby Luce. Luce takes a shot, score! Game is tied once again at 11. 2:53 to go in the fourth quarter. Buffs momentum has returned. Irish fans desperately want their squad to regain this lead so as not to force overtime or lose the game inside 3 minutes. As we've seen, things can change very quickly here in this league. A timeout called by the Irish. We'll step out here for a moment. Huddles have been broken here at Kitt Field. Folks, the temperature here has dropped dramatically in the last half hour. It's a face-off. It's going to be still fighting for it, but it's going to be the Irish who take this one as we approach the 2.5-minute mark. Buffalo's defense needs to step up here, put another point on the board to walk away with this W here this evening and defend their home turf. Irish closing in. There's a shot. They score! Sienna LaRocca regains the lead for the Irish. Just over 2 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter. Colorado has 2 minutes to respond. Abby Luce enters the circle once again with Kara Janaszewski. Controlled there once again by Chase Kriebel. Kriebel maintains possession. Kriebel. Send that one out to Evan McDonald. McDonald closing in, takes a shot. Ball is loose in front. Shot attempt saved by Ferris. Ball goes into the corner. 1 minute, 20 seconds to go in the fourth quarter. McDonald says this one back out. There's a shot. They score! Game is tied at 12. 1 minute and 10 seconds to go here in the fourth quarter. What a play to get the Buffs back on top. One minute and 10 seconds until overtime. Comes the face-off circle. This time, Jane Streaker will enter for the Irish. Here comes Luce. Abby Luce. In for Colorado. 13 versus 13. Ground ball recovered by the Irish. Here comes Colorado. Recovery on the recovery. They're closing in fast inside 60 seconds to go in regulation. Play is stopped. Inside 50. Very competitive nature here is Evan McDonald. Out in front here, ground ball recovered by McDonald. Trying to get this wraparound inside half a minute to go. McDonald. Irish recover. 20 seconds to go in regulation. That's sent deep out to midfield. Urskochi plays this one out. 6.1 seconds. Colorado will regain possession here, and that will, ladies and gentlemen, we will go to overtime. So we'll step out here for a moment, folks.
Anywhere, anytime soon.
And speaking of the Prime effect, we saw it on full force today at the CU NFL Showcase where they had the whole "we ain't hard to find" everywhere. This was not your normal pro day. Members from all 32 NFL teams were there. The owner of the Cleveland Browns was there. There were multiple GMs. It was an event for sure. There were so many people. There was a lot of great stuff. Obviously, Travis Hunter, Shedeur Sanders were the spotlight, but you want to start with those two, or was there something else that caught your eye from that?
You know, it was kind of a surreal experience, but of course, getting to see Travis Hunter, Shedeur Sanders up close and personal last time in Boulder, something special, Trent, and I know it's going to be something me and you both remember moving forward, as those are two of the best to ever do it in the blocking.
And Shedeur Sanders completed 58 of his 63 passes today through and 3 of those were drops, so really 58 of 60. A couple of beautiful deep balls to Will Shepard, to Jimmy Horn. Travis didn't really run a whole lot of deep routes, but he didn't do a lot. Travis and Shedeur also only did routes and throws, no 40s, no 3-cone shuttle, none of that. But people who did do those more common combine drills was the linemen. Was there any linemen that caught your eye today?
Definitely. If you look at Shidozi Nwankwo, who did bench press, putting up 30 reps would have put him at number 1 of all defensive tackles.
That was an impressive performance.
Not only that, just his 40 times, his explosion. We saw Justin Myers get up there with a 32.5-inch vertical with long arms for that offensive lineman, knowing his skill, being able to play both sides. See a lot of the depth that CU has.
That vertical was higher than a lot of the receivers.
It was, which is is, pretty phenomenal. Even like a linebacker, Levante Bentley, he got up higher than him at 300-plus pounds. Extremely impressive.
And Coach Prime said today that he doesn't think that there should be a question. Travis and Shedeur should be 1 and 2. He said that those guys have the least amount of risk of any prospect in the draft. A lot of mock drafts have them both going in the top 5, with the most recent one, I don't know if you saw by ESPN, had Shedeur going number 3 to the New York Giants, Travis Hunter going number 4 to the New England Patriots. We did see Shedeur talking with Giants general manager Joe Schoen and their head coach Brian Daboll. We saw him back in Heisman season. He was playing catch with Malik Neighbors out in the streets of Manhattan. So Shedeur to the Big Apple, do we think?
There's a lot of links there, Trent, and of course we've seen the cleats in the locker room too.
The blue cleats from the Alamo Bowl.
So many, comparisons there. But we also did see a lot of extensive conversations with the Cleveland Browns and Shedeur Sanders as well. So definitely a lot of interest from these top NFL teams, and just a lot of personnel and media in attendance who are all interested. All eyes on Colorado.
And a lot of the people flying in for today's showcase was saying how they were excited to come to beautiful Boulder, Colorado. Not so beautiful today. Guess they're gonna have to come back for a game next year. Maybe get game day, big noon kickoff or whatnot. But definitely was a one-of-a-kind pro day, one-of-a-kind event. Big success for CU and their players, I thought. And we'll see what happens. Draft is just under 3 weeks away now. So,
yes, Trent, most definitely it is a super exciting time to be in Boulder, Colorado. But it is now time for this week's trivia question. With less than 3 weeks until the NFL draft, where Shedeur, Travis Hunter are potential top 5 overall picks, our question this week is, who was the last Buff taken in the top 5? Stay tuned for our answer later in the show.
Welcome back to Kit Field, ladies and gentlemen. We are getting ready for the 3-minute overtime sudden death period between the Colorado Buffaloes and the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Abby Luce in the circle for Colorado, as was Jane Streaker. Buffaloes control the opening draw. Ground ball here recovered. Out in front here, here's Sydney Schitzman. Notre Dame defense is terrified right now. You can feel the tension here at this field. 2.5 to go. Buffalo's trying to set something up. Right into traffic. They maintain possession. Take a shot. They score! Buffaloes win it 13-12 in overtime here at Kit Field, defending their home turf. An absolute thriller of a game this was this evening. It was an absolute pleasure to bring it to you all. Beautiful goal there. If I'm not mistaken, it was Annie Quinn on that last play. Buffaloes takes the lead, or take the win here at home. Absolute thriller. And ladies and gentlemen, we thank you all for tuning in here today at ScoBuff Sports to watch your Colorado Women's Club lacrosse team defend their home turf in the Mile High Tournament. I'm Kieran Walker. Nick Evans is our producer here today. And we say good night from Kit Field. And don't forget, you heard it here first.